titles aside, if you're in production, you are doing
Everything. My mom is like, when you can fix things in the set, why can't you fix your life?
Hope for the best, expect the worst. ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ I worked on films that won state award, Karnataka state award ಬಂದಿದೆ, national award ಬಂದಿದೆ, Kerala state award ಬಂದಿದೆ, and everybody's like, Godfather, no, this film school ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ, 5 people doing 5 different things there. You are one person doing 5 things here, that is there. Take what you want from it.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to impose the whole thing. When you learn the tools of filmmaking, what you make of that is your craft.
So we spoke about you working in television and how the shift happened towards movies, and then it happened to be that you became a EP, executive producer, that is for
And we have understanding of this term for which are production specific, which are film specific, which is industry specific, which is international and Indian context specific. But at the end of the day, let me tell you, titles aside, if you're in production, you are doing everything. In the sense, doing everything in the sense, you're getting things done, but your overview of how everything is functioning is very, very important. So, for me, of course, as a young person, I was like, oh, AD in the EP. You know, that's also a very cool thing. That I'm like, oh, I'm heading production and everything. But then you also realize that it is not something which is a skill that can be taught to you. See, as an AD, you can be told, idu frame, idu property, idu actor, idu action, idu costume anta. To a certain extent, that knowledge transfer will help you work better. But for an EP or for anybody in production, you have to familiarize yourself with what is each person's purpose on set. You have to understand what the union is saying. Union ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ವಾಟ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಬಿಲ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಆ ಬಿಲ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಬಿಲ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Then there is a lot of money management involved as well, whereas you are executing that day shoot. Basically, you're doing everything in service of the director and the story. So that communication of our requirement ಏನಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, how much is that going to cost us for the next day, how much should we keep as money aside to pay people, whom to pay on a day when you feel like you want to reallocate that budget to somebody else. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ತೀರಾ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ನಾಳೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ you really have to pay them for their work to happen. Like, you really have to keep like diesel budget aside. You can't say diesel ದುಡ್ಡು ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ನಾಳೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. He will say ನಾನು diesel ನಾಳೆ ತರ್ತೀನಿ. It's something, this might sound very superficial and things, but in terms of logic, it is just that simple. So that people management, money management, resource management, and to get the set to get going with momentum is something that you need to have as a part of your personality. You need to have as a part of your leadership skills, or just to be aware that you can do this. You need to be super mentally strong about it, because not everybody will listen to you. And when I'm not saying that they didn't listen, most people were very kind to me, but some people always had this thought, ಈ ಹುಡುಗಿ ವಯಸ್ಸಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಲಿ. See, you need to make your way around people, work your way around people. ಬೈದು ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಸಕ್ ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. I was not that person. I was like, okay, let's be amicable about this and let's get things done. And that's like the best case scenario. It is not every day. Because some days I knew who was being difficult, where as a part of my job, and I don't like going into the tags of because I was a girl I had to do this. No, as a part of my job to get the set running, I sometimes used to like call Sudhi sir and be like, sir, onchuru phone ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಕೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. And he has to do it. Right? So it's not just, and he wouldn't call them and say, hey, ಯಾಕೆ ನೀನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಟ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಬರೀತಿದ್ಯಾ. ನೋ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳು ಮಾತು. So invariably you're empowering me, right? You're telling that person, you're not telling, he's not imposing his authority saying you listen to me, because then dynamic shift. Anything happens on set, that person would have turned and said, ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. Although I am very much physically present on set, wanting to do my job, which is to manage the person and to manage the day. So I think it's very important that in production, where the producer and the production team, whoever's already there, who as a senior production head is there, as a co-founder, empowers the person who is in charge of production for that day on set.
Hmm.
You empower them with authority, you empower them with information, you empower them with funds. You know how much is at your like dispensable funds our there, how much do you have to like pay and like use for that day.
And ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈಲಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ?
So it's very production specific, it's very production house specific, it's very vendor specific. Some vendors speak as a total package, some do like a percentage of first installment, second installment, or as the shoot progresses kishkodi. Some are per day bata ಏನಿದೆ ಬಿಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನೇನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಶೀಟ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So it depends on that. It's very specific, but yeah, I think I was empowered enough to manage production, which is a huge shout out to all the men on the execution team and in the production houses importantly.
ನೈಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಂಗೆ ಅದು ಸಾರಿ ಸೊ ನಂಗೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ನನಗೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್. ಹುಡುಗಿ ಒಂದು ಅಥಾರಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೈ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಈಗೋಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ತೊಗೊತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕಮಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಏನೋ ನಂಗೆ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ದೇ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೈನಿ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ನೋಬಡಿ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಮೀ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ಲಿ.
Yeah, when on set production handle ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಮೈ ಜಾಬ್. ನನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ ನಮ್ದು ಈ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬೇಕು, ಇಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಈ ಶಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಓಕೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಬಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ if somebody is not listening to you, or if somebody is making your life difficult, or if you're unable to also support that person and understand what he or she is saying because you are also new to the whole process, when it's recurring alva, you invariably start thinking, is it because I'm a woman he's saying this, is it because I'm a young girl he's saying this? And that's absolutely human to think that way. But then if you're going to loop and spiral with that thought, you're never going to get work done. Okay. So all you need to do is, at least what I did was look at the person with a straight face saying, Anna nodi, idaagbekanತೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಹೋಗಿ. Because the other thing that people forget is, everybody thinks production andre it is people management, it is call sheet management, it is budget management. But you don't realize that in a very, very mysterious way. And it's just so funny how you are actually also creatively really involved. Because you know why? When you go for like a recce, when you go for a scout, when you know there is a requirement of something, analyzing the budget and everything is the second part. The first thing is you're actually sitting in that meeting of creatives and understanding ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬೇಕು. So invariably you're also absorbing the creatives of the film. So you're doing that and then you're reminding yourself, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಂತೆ, ಈ ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಶಾಟ್ ಬೇಕಂತೆ ಅದು, ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಡಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ all of those shots. So more often than not people think that you're just doing like bills, you're just paying people, you're just like ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರ ಇವ್ರು ತಿಂಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಅದು ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಶೂಟ್ ಡೇ ಇದೆ. As a member of the production team, you're equally invested in the creatives and you have to be equally invested in the creatives in order to support that vision. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ you will not know. Because like somebody, I remember very vaguely for one of this film, somebody wanted body spray paint to be done for one person. They said the AD will try it. Okay, so I had to coordinate that body spray paint person coming. One AD was wearing the bodysuit, we tried that spray paint on that person and everything. But even for me to just try that, I literally had to be like, why do you want it? Tell me. Because accordingly, after a point, yes, you will map vendor to the person. But you need to be there to micromanage that information transfer is happening correctly. In accordance to that information and requirement given, they are going to budget you. Niಮಗೆ requirement ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಆ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು what are you going to negotiate? Correct. So it is mentally taxing to, it's like two parallel things running in your head. Where like, oh, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಬಟ್ ಇವ್ನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರು ಹುಡ್ಕೋಣ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ವೆಂಡರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬಟ್ ಇವ್ರ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಗೈ. ಸೊ you're as invested in the story,
Yeah.
which people tend to forget.
What's one situation that you have handled and you have like panicked for the whole day, and then when you remember that now it's like ಇಷ್ಟೇನಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ?
It's never been easy. There was so much panic and so much like hell breaking news. It would have never been easy because I think that much threshold has. But yeah, production is not easy, you know. And also because see, be it the direction team and be it the production team, you're always needed on call or text. Your presence is always needed. I feel like considerably the rest of the departments are still at ease when prep is happening because you call them when you have enough concrete information to be like, adon location ide banni nodi neevu. But that is after you internally lock saying ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಕತೆಗೆ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಡೂ recce and then you do a scout and you bring in your technical teams. So they are still at ease. But with direction team and production team, you're constantly like, it's like, it never stops. It's like one rubber kallalli, you're there. You're just being churned. Your energy is just being churned. And I remember, not a panic, but I remember we needed a karu for one situation. Okay, one scene karu ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. And then set ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲೇ ಆ ಹಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರು ಇತ್ತು. Basically it was like one ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ setup. So then my parents love traveling and then all they ask is for like one summer vacation ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಒಂದು 5 ದಿನ please take leave and come. I'm like okay. So those 5 days we were shooting but then I prepped everything and gone and I'm like okay if hell breaks loose I'm always available on call. So in the middle of I think this was some hillock or some hill or something like that on deserted place where we were driving from one point to the other, some touristy place in Himachal Pradesh, where as it is, I have bad choppy network there, phone bantu, and I get off, and what is the call? I'm like, car side raki please, and I have a call, and everybody's just like, oh, I got so then I got down and I'm like speaking with like bad network, I'm like, ha, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅದು ಕರು ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So what do you mean ಕರು ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ? ಇಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಮ್ಮ ಮಗು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. Like okay, in ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸೆಟ್ಗೆ and set was not too far from that place actually. I'm like in ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರೋದು? I'm like cab is not an option, auto is not an option because it's a karu.
Yeah.
I'm like set ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಗಾಡಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? And they're like, I think Tata is yellow lights, extra lights, tandiv gaadi hai. I'm like, bring it. Just put pony chila, put hay, make sure the car is comfortable. Hasu hengo nadskom bandru. But the karu came in Tata is. So these are the situations where I'm just like, see, the team will think on the spot, the team will figure things out. Yes. But for me, the larger part of that guilt was like, oh my god, I'm ditching my team. I'm not there. But then I'm like, listen, protect the car, please. So they made like, they drove at like I think 20 kilometers per hour and then they got the Karu and the Hasu and the shot was okay. It was like very cinematic in that scene. So I'm like, oh, okay, Karu's okay. Yeah, cool. And then like, like even like randomly one day one of the leads hairstylist was like, I'm not coming today. So then Papa my colleague called and she's like, Prerna, hairstylist ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ವಂತೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ? I said, okay, Kritika, ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಮಿ ಸಾಲೋನ್ ಅದು ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಇದೆಯಾ ನೋಡು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಐಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಸೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಅ ಹೇರ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ more often than not all of these situations are like force major. ನೀವ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ದಟ್ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಬಟ್ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So my motto, it sounds very sad, but my motto to go to set and shoot every day is hope for the best, expect the worst. I think that keeps you grounded, that keeps you safe because you never know. It's so many people and so much equipment. So so in the middle of nowhere on like a road trip with my parents in summer and just like karu banta hai. I also remember that after that incident, my parents and my sister were like, I think we're okay for the next holiday without you. I'm like, sorry guys, like, we thought you were out of work, this is not cool and all of that, but how do you explain it to them? Like, you can't, especially when you're somebody who's taken up so much responsibility and you are the one point contact for so many other people, and there is a certain momentum you set, and if one thing goes wrong, you can't help it. But then at least I know for sure that I had enough trust in those people who had more experience than me in the execution team and production team, who were like, I was like, okay, you manage ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, it is okay. So with that trust you leave people. But still, things like this can happen. So this was that oh god moment, and you won't believe it, till date idagi ಒಂದು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ easily. Till date, every time, you know, of course from production I've shifted to direction team, but it's nothing different. You still have to be available and all of that. Till date, my sister makes fun of me saying, that can't hairstylist. And then every time we're leaving home and or traveling or even just having a meal, like in yaar illa andru my phone has to be aside. Like, dude, no. Like, yes, of course, stable courtesy, I will keep my phone aside. So
Because I think it is all like every day there is some uncertain and ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, like ಹೊಸ ಶಾಕರ್ every day.
There are no plot twists happening on set and in your script. That's what I believe. I'm like, hope for the best, expect the worst. But if you go with that, I'm telling you guys, you're going to have a sane day. I won't say you're going to have a good day. Please mind you, I'm saying you're going to have a sane day. So
Yeah.
So it was like one moment where I was like, I mean, there have been worse, but then it's very film specific, and you know, it's things we figured out. And everything, I think, films at large is jugaad. The biggest of sets, the smallest of sets, everything is jugaad. But having said that, it's not because you haven't prepped. In most scenarios, it's not because you haven't prepped. It's because even if you have prepped, you always need to account for things going wrong. And what can you do? Which is why it teaches you how to think on the spot. Because, you know, it's one thing to have everything in order and, you know, shoot first half, and second half something can really go down south. But avag ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So to think on your feet, be it in a direction team, production team, any team, just to think on your feet, have the presence of mind and be like, okay, adala andre idu, and adapt. You really need to have that much, you know, core mental strength to adapt. So yeah, I mean, that's also the larger idea of life, right? But on a film set, all the more.
My mom always keeps telling me this, saying she knows like illunu ella uncertainties irutte and I'll be like on call trying to fix things. My mom is like, when you can fix things in the set, why can't you fix your life? And I'm like,
Oh my god.
So to that yet, but
I was like, bye, I'm going to my room, bye.
I'll go cry in a corner.
for me, the other thing is my dad is also still like somebody who watches a lot of content. Like when I'm on shoot schedule, he would have watched everything and like caught up with everything that's released. He's like, "Idno dia,
Adno
idno
dia."
dia." I was like, "Hey buddy, I'm on shoot. Shoot a little." And it is so sad and ironic how filmmakers have the least amount of active filmmakers have the least amount of time to watch films that have released.
Yeah.
So every time you're like, I don't know. And then suddenly somebody's like, oh, cinema that shot no Vidra. And you're just like, what do you want? But we have a healthy practice in our office where everybody tries to catch up on films and discuss it on Mondays. So, or like through the week, saying, yaad nodidri. So that way you're also trying to understand what you want to watch or not. And you're also getting so much diverse opinion about the same content that you watch, which is such an enriching experience, right? It's still knowledge because it's still somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
And it's a different way of seeing the world in the film. So, yeah, but my dad's curiosity about films is just, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Like a 20-minute dinner turns into like, you know, ಅಷ್ಟು ಸತಿನೂ ಅದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. I was like, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು questions are so cute.
Yeah.
I said, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Yeah.
When budgets and when teams have the luxury of a multi-cam setup, they do it. But sometimes you can't.
Hmm.
And sometimes you do need only one small portion. He's like, and you know, one thing that he says very cutely at the end of all of these conversations, consistently he says, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಸೀನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ವಾವ್ ಅಂತ. I was like, yeah. I think honesty is up. Yeah. So when they understand and appreciate, you know, like this, you feel so wholesome about the choices you make. So yeah, so it's very cute.
Illy, you were pretty active when there were back-to-back projects happening, and then suddenly you decide to move to LA.
Yeah.
Naifa, right? Yeah. So why did you make that decision? Because ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ stories follow ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. 100 days to go, 90 days to go. I have to leave this city.
I do that. So that happened at a time where then COVID first wave happened. Like everything came to a standstill, and also because I had to deal with a parent who COVID as well. So, but my production house was kind enough to continue to pay me because I was still for whatever minimal work that was still involved because nothing was being done. Right? You guys know how horrible a situation it was, and I'm just so glad and thankful that most of us survived it and we're okay after that. So. Nothing was really happening, but thankfully they continued to pay me whatever, part payment or the full thing salary that they could give me and whatever else that had to be done online, emails, or that I still used to do. That time I did my first master's, which was a master's in digital marketing and digital media from MICA. That was from MICA Ahmedabad. It was an online course with upgrade. So I said, oh, okay, I don't have a master's. What do I do? And I always was intrigued and I found social media to be very fun and I was already doing what they were teaching me, but I was like, I want more knowledge. I used to do a lot of social media work for the films that we used to release. We used to make sure our production house account is active. We used to do all the milestone calendar things. All that was being already done. So somewhere I was like, should I really do this course? But I was like, hey, but I want more knowledge about this. I don't know as much. So I did that course online. And then by the time second wave happened, I think we didn't really have active shoots still. It was with a lot of protocols because I remember there was one window where we started shooting with a lot of strict rules and protocols, and then again everything was just shut down. So I was like, COVID really did good to me in so many ways. I was constantly just a part of that grind, right? I was like, I didn't focus on money. I didn't have the luxury to meet friends. I didn't have the luxury of time for myself. So when you're doing that constantly, you miss out on so much. And huge shout out to my, family and friends who stood by me because I also know that so many of them gave up after a point because they're like, ಕರೆಯೋಣ ಪ್ರೇರಣನ ಬಟ್ ಶೂಟಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ and ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತು where they're like ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ that they're all meeting, I can't, and I think after the point they gave up because they were like, it's just going to be another apology message to guys. So it was emotionally very very sad because as a woman you're always like, because you're so emotionally driven and that I feel is like a beautiful virtue of us. You're like pursuing your passion and chasing your dream, and then cut to you're like sacrificing so much of this memory creation and moment and everything and of just being there. So COVID really paused. It's like pause button. It's like, now wait. What do you want to do? What is it that excites you? Like I did AD work, but that was again third schedule of a film, so it was not much experience. Then there was a lot of execution related thing, there was a lot of release related work, there was a lot of marketing related work. It's like initially what interests you? I was like, but like the craft interests me. I want to be a filmmaker eventually. I want to create content that people will watch and feel good about. Because there's already so much bad in the world. I want to give them something that is a piece of me for the world to watch and enjoy. So that is when I was like, I want to go to film school. So I had a friend's friend who interned with us at Purpose Films, and he also went to NICA.
Oh.
And then I met him, and it was 25th December. It was like Christmas Day. I met him, and I was like, hey, I want to go to film school. I want all the details and all of that. And then I also realized that, considering the pay and considering everything, you don't end up saving a lot in such jobs, right? And I wasn't particularly guided to savings and all of that, but I tried my best. And I was also young, and it's okay because you earn that money, right? So then I broached the idea at home, and I was working on it. And my parents are the sorts where if you are definite about something, you need to show us enough proof that this is what you want to do with regard to information. Like for them, everything is, my mom is a history student. Everything has to be on paper for her. Everything is subject matter, related. So everything has to be well compiled and given and communicated, and rightfully so, because they parted with their savings to send me, and then they said, we funded your sister, of course we will fund you. And then I also was lucky enough, thanks to the work, body of work I had and the experience, I also got two scholarships from my college. So that also sort of, not really like to a large percentage, eased the burden, but it was something, right? Something better than nothing. So then that happened, and it was me doing like a PPT of why film school, why not film school, pros and cons of film school, what after film school, because these are things I had to know the answer for myself. And until and unless you know for yourself, there is no way anybody else will understand, right? So that information and knowledge transfer is very important. So I did like a whole PPT, and I said, this. But then their question was, but you're already doing so well here. With nothing you started, you've already completed 7 years over here. So what is this shift? Then I told them, I was like, I am doing people management, whereas I also want to understand other aspects of it. And also because, to be very honest, I told them, I said, worst case scenario, even if I come back and I don't get a very easy good head start of being in with working with a director, I still have knowledge. Knowledge never goes to vain, right? So I'm like, ಆ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಅವಾಗಲೇ ನಾನು ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐಮ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು ಕಲಿತು ಓದಿ ಬಂದರೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ನರ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಮೀ. It took care of me. Like I was a nobody. I was a baby. And it just took me in and said, come. And there. So I'm like, if I'm getting better at a skill and craft and knowledge, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, I have to come back home. Home is the only way. Okay, so that was something I had pre-decided as a thing. So adala aitu, then I got LORs from very, very kind directors I worked with and everything. And it is a lot of luck, to be very honest. I worked on films that won state award. Karnataka state award bandide, national award bandide, Kerala state award bandide. So vicariously you're very happy, right, that you've been like one small person and brain who's been a part of that film. So it's just also been a lot of luck. But then COVID really paused and taught me and said, wait, understand your energies, understand your goals, what do you want to do? So that is when film school happened, and then I went, and then I did like a master's in filmmaking, and I've never lived in a different country abroad. I've never been to the US before. I had the good fortune of traveling to other countries, but never to the US. So for my parents, it was also like, and I'm the second child. It's like, oh, ಈ ಮಗು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋ ಜಾಗ, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಏನು. So my sister came with me, sort of inducted me to the university, and she's traveled quite a bit because she used to be a part of moot courts and everything through her college. So she's had that worldly knowledge. But with the second child, they're always more possessive. And so she came, dropped me, settled me in. And now that I think about it, I don't know how it's that. Like, you can suddenly pause and think, saying, oh wow, I actually did that alwa. So the film school was life-changing in many ways. It was life-changing in the classroom, beyond the classroom, everything. And the other thing was, so I've consistently been exposed to films at home. We used to go watch films together and everything. But world cinema as such, I didn't know as much, because my only exposure to world cinema as such was, or international films as such, was Bharati Vidya Bhavanalli. There used to be a center called American Corner. Okay, so American Corner alli, for the 4th of July, they had screened the Air Force One of the film. So and they had a lot of DVDs that time. Our DVD bandi.
Huh.
So they used to literally, I think it was in collaboration with the American Embassy or something like that, and also because Bharati Vidya Bhavan is globally present, you could just go to a computer and just like play a CD and watch it, or read books about America and everything. And I wasn't really a book person as such. I was more like a visual person because that since I was a child, there was so much visual stimuli that I subjected myself to, and it generally happened. So American Corner Ali, I used to watch films. And then of course at home it used to be like, okay, what is she watching today? So my parents used to see like HBO nali ಯಾವ cinema ಬರ್ತಿದೆ or like Star
newspaper.
ಯಾವ cinema ಬರ್ತಿದೆ which is appropriate for her. So by then they became self-censored to guide me to what is advisable and not for me to watch age appropriate atara. So again film school ಹೋಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ I was like, I don't know as much word cinema and I don't know like other things. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay, Godfather. I remember like bits and pieces, watching bits and pieces of it when cousins used to come for sleepover and all of that. So I'm like, okay. And everybody's like, Godfather, no, they film school, they go, kya? Did you watch Godfather and all that? They put so much pressure on me. And I'm again trying to, like watch all the classics and everything. And please be empathetic to people who haven't had the exposure to world cinema as such. Of course, when I went to film school, it got a little better because we had a very cool library. We could also go watch films there. We could also read a lot. They had original posters of films in our school, and everything that our directing or other instructors used to tell us were all like anecdotal things. Some of our instructors were like veterans who were the as a part of the founding members of Warner Brothers.
Whoa.
So they used to teach us like cinema theory, cinema studies, and all of that. So I'm like, hey, I'm here for that. Don't put pressure on me now. Because even now, if you ask me in a group of 5 people, filmmakers or like film enthusiasts, I don't have that much knowledge. And that fear kills me. That lack of knowledge kills me. They're like, frame, shot, costume. And I'm like, so please be empathetic to a particular section of people like me who are actively making films, but it's okay for somebody to not know.
Yeah.
So please make it a knowledge transfer process instead of saying you don't know. So with all that FOMO, I was like, okay, Godfather, watch this and watch that. So I did like a 100-day countdown to me going to NIFA because end to end, my parents are like, you're an adult, you process things, you get things done. So they said, we've empowered you enough, and you do your paperwork, you do everything, and rightfully so. I did all of that. I wrote my SOP and all of that. And I think this was one of the SOPs that I really enjoyed writing because it was such a personal process, and it really helped me understand the connection that cinema and I had, which I've never had the time or occasion or reason to sit and be and process. Yeah.
What's like the difference that you saw in the school teaching and on the set teaching?
So for me, I chose film school instead of going to a set and learning on site. Also because we didn't have that environment because there were no active shoots. I would have to wait on. That is one thing. Second thing is, I have learned quite a bit and absorbed quite a bit of information which may not be very structured and organized and helpful to me from what I had on set experience. But I'm somebody that primarily I like structured teaching. Like I like a particular discipline involved in getting up every day, going and studying. On my own, if I were to ask like recommendations of books from people or the friend who went to film school and be like, dude, give me your books or give me your reference work, I want to like study. I don't think I would have been as disciplined. So it's also your personality type and the way you absorb information. So maybe I'm somebody where I like the structured, education as such. And also because the whole thought of you can't teach somebody how to make a film is not entirely true. Because I believe that you should modify that statement and say that you can always teach somebody the tools of filmmaking. So when you learn the tools of filmmaking, what you make of that is your craft. But to have enough exposure to those tools, I feel like film school is very good. And I also feel, but having said that, I'm not saying set to go kelsa ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Set is also the best place to learn because ನೀವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋ execution ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು. But you need to have the right environment and the right person who is guiding you. And more often than not, settle time ಇರಲ್ಲ. Nobody is going to treat you like a, you know, like even an intern has to be very mindful and equal, you know, party and stakeholder to what is happening. It's not like intern ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಬರೀ observer ಆಗಿ notes ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, intern ಆಗಿನೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. You have to learn quickly. So it is a very person specific choice.
And it's not even like hand holding process alla yaru, they'll not sit you down and tell you
No.
this is the process you have to
Unless there is a designated person to do that, which is a luxury again. Yeah, and in film school also there were people who had experience, who didn't have experience in their own countries. And my bestest friend from film school, Victoria, she was from Germany and she was somebody who had experience. So what happens is she worked with a production house in Germany. So ಅವಾಗೇನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, because we were also in the similar age group, we were also from the mindset where we worked on professional sets before, which is again a lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability, which is a part of that experience, which other people may not have. So I think that's what we bonded over initially, and we were like, hey, so cool, like, you know. So yeah, and then it's a lot of unlearning also, having said that, because one, you're trying to understand the process that they follow. You know what people have followed back home.
Yeah.
Plus you're trying to understand that process for yourself to adapt to. So you're like, ಅವ್ರು ಇದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಟ್ ನಾವು
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ.
ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ, you have to maintain that balance. Primarily the core of filmmaking is the same, but the method and the approach is different, right? So it's stressful. And also because you're new, you're in a different city, country, you're with different people, you're away from home, you need to put up a brave front saying, I got this. And that's so, yeah.
Because like this is my curious question. ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ and then so we didn't do it right, or did we do it right?
That is the first thing that you will feel. Saying, oh God, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. But then you also realize that the kind of atmosphere you work in here and there, in terms of the structure, in terms of the people, in terms of the manpower, in terms of the equipment, is different. So what you want from there is what you take and try to apply here, because something as basic as the terms they use is very different from the terms we use here. But then I feel like here we're more, of course, best. Both of them have their best pros and cons, and you know, someday I want like the best of both worlds for myself. But then if you don't have that conducive environment where people will adapt to what you're saying, it becomes tricky. But then for me, what I was happy about and thankful was for the fact that I'll kalita idini, I'll hosadu, I'll take what is needed for me as a person from that, and not necessarily randomly get people to adapt to it here, but also understand how I want to change one set at a time. Right? I might be just one person on the set who has this knowledge. And even if I have like one other colleague with me or one other person with me saying, sir, you know, this, or like, ma'am, this is like a better way of doing this, idin ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. Like now when somebody asks me for a budget over here, there's like an above the line, below the line budget, which a lot of people, I'm sure in like Bollywood and everywhere else, is already following. But I haven't seen that particularly here. So I'm just like, hey, I know that. Do you want me to do that? And that's when somebody who has world knowledge and somebody who is okay for you to try something new and be like, okay, I'm not Kodi, if that's the way to be, and if that's going to, like, you know, help us be more professional about things, why not? So
that change start agidya alli, do you in Kannada movies?
I mean, see, again, every set functions very specifically. It's also that entire nexus of your direction team, how open they are to learning from you,
Hmm.
and also in general knowledge transfer.
Hmm. Hmm.
See, I may come with experience, somebody else may come with film school knowledge, and I may be coming with both. Somebody else might be coming with on-set knowledge of various other industries or Kannada films. Every being is so different that there's so much to learn.
Hmm.
So, until and unless you have a conducive environment where people are open to discussing things, talking about things, communicating things, and learning and wanting to learn, it will happen.
Hmm.
But don't expect what you have learned from film school to immediately be executed here, because it's a long journey to get people to learn it. Because at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, instead of teaching somebody 5 different terms that we used to use there, are those terms even relevant on the set? Illa tane. But is there a particular way in which we, let's say, do a task like this budgeting?
Hmm.
ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಐ ನೋ ದಟ್. ನಾವು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಐ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ isn't that better? So you need to pick and choose what is conducive, what is not, what is relevant, what is not, and what will help.
Hmm.
Right? Like, even for example, like a call sheet, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, it's like, it's super neat, it's everything is there, it's very clear, everybody's on the same page. By the time somebody spends that much time writing all of that down, here in the Indian scenario, or at least in Kannada films, you will first question yourself saying, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರಿ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ why should I be spending time writing that all of that information in that list, whereas I have a man doing it there? Because it's not as distinct as us in terms of, I mean, you have like 5 people doing 5 different things there, you have 1 person doing 5 things here, that is there. But then ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Hmm.
So you need to understand how your resources function. So instead of writing that, you might as well just be like, walk up to the manager and be like, oh, bandila phone ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ, bandila, all time iditu, right? Instead of you picking up that thing, that's their way of functioning. But having said that, I like certain aspects of their method, where a call sheet alle something like, like nearest hospital ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ.
Hmm.
Every call sheet has the detail where which is the closest hospital you can go to if something happens to anybody on set. So that information is very nice. So here, when we're shooting something, I walk up to the manager and I'm like, sir, closest hospital yadu, nodi kodiri. God forbid.
Yeah.
Like, you never know. So take what you want from it.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to impose the whole thing, because until and unless it's your set as a director, and if that's the only way you know how to function, and if you're, again, that's you being rigid.
Hmm.
But you need to adapt. Yeah, because when I came back to, when I decided I wanted to do Rasam back in like Bangalore, it was just one call to my friend Maddie saying, Maddie, California ಮನೆಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಳಿ ಬಿಳಿ ಗೋಡೆಗಳು, ಡಿಪಿ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೆಟ್ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕು, ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. And even if I ship it, it's all like customs, when will it reach, when will it happen, and all of that. So it was just overnight that I just made that call and I was like, nange ಇದು ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. It is a story, it is my story. I am from Bangalore, I worked in that industry, let me just make a call. I said, Maddie, I'm coming, I want to shoot this in Bangalore. He's like, okay, ಯಾರು ಬೇಕು ನಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳು. Didn't flinch. Said, okay, ಯಾರು ಬೇಕು ನಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳು. I said, hey, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ resources ಇದೆ. He's like, that's your crew list. That's your vendor list. Ticket ಯಾವಾಗ book ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? And that's how I came back.